Jeff Stone, you have been an advocate for a liberal constitution for decades. It's the year 2020. Imagine the addition of one or two or three liberal justices. What are some big areas of the Constitution that would look different than they do now?
Well, I guess I'd make 3 points. First thing, it's important to recognize that it's now been 45 years plus that we've had a Supreme Court that's been dominated by Republican-appointed nominees. That is, the last time we've had a majority of justices who were appointed by Democratic presidents was basically when Richard Nixon was elected. And that's number one. Number two is, as Nancy said earlier, we don't even know what a liberal justice is anymore. What we call liberal justices today are not liberal justices. They're not like William Douglas or William Brennan or Thurgood Marshall or Arthur Goldberg or Abe Fortas. None of them is a liberal justice. These are very moderate liberals, every one of them. So even if we added a fifth, say Merrick Garland, they'd still be a very moderate liberal court. So it's hard to imagine what a liberal court would be because we haven't even thought about that for half a century. The third thing I'd say is that because of the fact that the court's been dominated for so long by conservatives, almost all we could imagine a more liberal court doing is overturning the decisions of those justices. So what we can imagine is overturning some of the campaign finance decisions, overturning the gun control decisions, overturning the decisions holding affirmative action unconstitutional, overturning the Voting Rights Act decisions. And what's interesting about this is we used to think of conservatives as people who believed in judicial restraint. But almost every decision that's today regarded as conservative that needs to be overturned was an activist decision of these justices, holding all sorts of things unconstitutional because they were inconsistent with a conservative agenda. So basically what I would say is what's easy to imagine is a court that would begin to chip away and over time overrule some of these very conservative decisions. What's almost impossible to imagine is what a liberal court would do in the kind of Warren Court vein. That is, what would they reach out to hold unconstitutional? The only real example we have of this court doing that is probably in the area of gay rights. And those were, of course, 5-4 decisions, but those were activist, judicial, liberal decisions. And we could imagine a lot of that in the future with a really liberal court, but I don't know anybody who's been able to figure out what that would be.